It started raining just as I left work that night. I had stayed late to finish a few reports, and by the time I got to my car, the streets were slick, the wind blowing sheets of rain that stung my face. I had the feeling something was off, though I couldn't put my finger on it. Maybe it was just the quiet streets, the way the usual traffic was absent. I decided to take a shortcut through the park. It was supposed to be faster, but I hadn't anticipated how dark it would be with the storm clouds blocking the streetlights. My footsteps splashed in puddles, and every time a gust of wind rattled the trees, I jumped. That's when I saw the shelter. It wasn't the park's main shelter. It was an old, small wooden structure, barely big enough for one person to sit inside. But there was someone there. I couldn't see them clearly at first, just a hunched figure pressed against the wall, back to me. I debated keeping walking, but the rain was getting heavier, and I didn't want to be soaked. I approached cautiously. "Hey, are you okay?" I asked, my voice barely audible over the storm. The figure didn't respond. As I got closer, I noticed something strange. They were shaking, but not from the cold. I could see it in the way their hands twitched. "Do you need help?" I asked again. Finally, the person turned, and that's when I saw their eyes. They weren't normal. They were wide, too wide, and the whites were bloodshot. The pupils darted around as if trying to find something or someone. I froze. "Stay back," the figure hissed. Their voice was barely human, low and raspy. Something about it made the hairs on my neck stand up. But I couldn't leave. Not yet. I noticed a small bag at their feet. A couple of things spilled out, what looked like a torn photo, a lighter, and a notebook. The notebook had pages scribbled with symbols I didn't recognize, and words that made no sense. Some of it looked like a journal, but the entries were chaotic, almost frantic. I stepped closer, trying to get a better look, and that's when they lunged at me. Not aggressively, more like desperate. I stumbled backward, my shoes slipping in the mud. "Wait, I'm not going to hurt you," I shouted. The stranger froze mid-lunge and looked at me again. Their expression was terrifying, equal parts fear and anger. "You can't stay," they whispered. "They'll find you if you do." I didn't understand what they meant, but before I could ask, they ran off into the rain, disappearing between the trees. I stood there for a long moment, heart pounding, unsure if I should follow or leave. I ended up following. Something in me told me to, even though I was terrified. I ran after them, splashing through puddles, calling their name. And then I heard it, a whisper, faint, carried by the wind. "Don't let them see you." The voice wasn't coming from the person anymore. It was everywhere. I froze, trying to pinpoint it, but the rain and wind drowned everything out. When I looked up, I saw them again, standing on the path ahead. Only now, their face was completely different. Smooth, pale, almost mask-like. I screamed and turned to run, but my foot caught a root, and I fell hard onto the wet ground. When I looked back, they were gone. I scrambled to my feet and ran blindly, following the lights of the street I knew was nearby. By the time I got to my car, I was drenched, shaking, and my hands were bleeding from scratches. I locked the doors and sat there for a long time, trying to calm down. I kept seeing that face, that empty expression, in my mind. I didn't want to go home. I couldn't. So I drove aimlessly, hoping to shake whatever was following me. And that's when I saw the headlights behind me. At first, I thought it was another car, but it wasn't. It was too close, moving too fast, staying with me no matter where I turned. I tried to lose it, taking side streets, accelerating, but it didn't matter. Every turn I made, every alley I ducked into, it was still there. And then I realized it didn't have headlights. There was no car at all, just the shadow, moving perfectly in sync with my movements. I finally stopped at a gas station, heart racing, and ran inside. I told the attendant I thought I was being followed. He looked at me, confused, then glanced outside. Nothing, no one. When I came back out, my car was fine. No scratches, no marks. But I knew it wasn't over. I could still feel the presence, just out of the corner of my eye. That night, I didn't sleep. I stayed up, watching the streets, listening to the rain patter against the windows. And then I remembered the notebook, the one the stranger had dropped. I went back to the park the next day, hoping to find it. But the shelter was empty, as if no one had ever been there. The rain had washed away any footprints, any trace of them. Weeks later, I still see them. In the rain, in the shadows, just watching. And I've stopped taking that shortcut. But every time it storms, every time I hear that whisper in the wind, I remember. They weren't human, I'm sure of it now. And I think they were warning me. Or maybe, in some way, they were trying to protect me. Either way, I haven't gone back. And I don't think I ever will. I had always loved storms. The sound of rain against the roof, the way lightning lit up the sky, the smell of wet earth. But I never thought one storm would change my life forever. It started on a Thursday night. I was driving home from a friend's place, listening to music, when the rain began. At first, it was light, just enough to make the roads slick. But within minutes, it became a downpour. The kind of rain that makes it hard to see anything more than a few feet ahead. I was almost home when I saw something strange on the side of the road. A figure, standing completely still, in the middle of a puddle. I slowed down, thinking it was someone hitchhiking or lost in the storm. But as I got closer, I realized it wasn't waving or signaling. It was just standing there, staring at me. I stopped the car a few feet away. The rain drummed so hard on the roof that I had to shout to be heard. "Are you okay?" I asked. The figure tilted its head slightly, and then it did something that froze me. It raised one hand and pointed directly at me, not like a friendly wave, more like an accusation. I hesitated, debating whether to get out or drive past. Something about the way it stood so unnervingly still made me feel like if I moved, it would strike. I decided to drive past slowly, keeping my eyes on it. But when I looked in my rearview mirror, it was gone. I shrugged it off. Probably someone had run for cover, or maybe I imagined it. I pulled into my driveway and ran inside, dripping wet, shaking. I tried to convince myself I was just tired, imagining things. That night the storm didn't let up. I could hear the wind howling outside, and rain pounded against my windows like fists. Around midnight, I thought I heard something tapping on the window. A soft, deliberate tap. I froze. My apartment is on the second floor. Nobody should be able to reach the windows. The tapping came again, slower this time, like someone was testing me. I grabbed a flashlight and shone it across the balcony. Nothing. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't. Every creak of the building, every gust of wind made me jump. And then, I heard it, the whisper. Faint, almost drowned by the storm, but it was there, right outside my window. "Come out." I sat up, heart pounding. "Who's there?" I called. No answer. Just the sound of rain. The next day, I tried to brush it off. I told myself I was just stressed, imagining things. But by nightfall, I was already regretting that mindset. The storm returned, heavier than before. I could hear it outside before I even got home. Wind screaming through the streets, branches snapping, the kind of storm that makes the air feel alive. I locked my doors and turned on all the lights, hoping to feel safe. But around 11:30, I heard it again, the tapping, softer this time, all around my apartment. On the windows, the walls, even the floor. I got a bad feeling. Something in my chest told me I shouldn't look, but I did anyway. And I saw it. A figure standing at the far end of my living room. I live alone. Nobody could be there. It wasn't solid, not really. It shimmered, like heat haze, and its edges kept shifting, like it couldn't hold its shape. I raised my voice. "Who are you? What do you want?" The figure moved closer. And as it did, I realized something terrifying. It wasn't moving like a human. Its limbs twisted in ways they shouldn't, bending at angles that made my stomach turn. Then it spoke. Not with words, but I heard it in my head. "The storm, you called it." I froze. I didn't call anything. I shouted, but my voice sounded small, useless. "The storm. You always loved it. You asked for it. It whispered inside my mind. I remembered. Years ago, I had joked with friends about storms, saying things like, "I wish it would storm all night. I'd love that. I'd never thought anything of it." But now it seemed like some twisted form of reality. "You like storms, you always do. So I come," it said. The voice was cold, distant, yet somehow intimate, like it knew me better than I knew myself. I ran for the balcony, thinking I could escape outside. But when I opened the door, the wind hit me like a wall. I was thrown back inside. The figure hovered closer, now filling almost the entire room. Its face. I couldn't make out any features, just a dark void where eyes and mouth should have been. "I protect the storms. I answer the call. What do you want from me? You summoned me. By loving the storm, by wanting it to rage, you called me. And now you must listen. Listen to what?" It raised a hand, or something like a hand. Outside, lightning struck so close I felt it through my chest. "Your storms. Your storms are not yours, they belong to me. Every storm you have ever loved, every night you have wished for rain, every thrill you felt, it belongs to me now." I tried to run, tried to call someone, but my phone was dead, the battery drained instantly. You wanted the storm. Now you must endure it. The lights went out, complete darkness, except for the flashes of lightning. Each bolt revealed the figure, closer, larger, twisting impossibly, until it seemed like the room itself was alive, bending around it. I screamed, tried to fight, but nothing worked. It circled me, faster and faster, like a predator toying with its prey. And then, silence. I opened my eyes, and I was outside. Rain poured down in sheets. My clothes were soaked. My apartment was behind me, dark and silent. I had no idea how I got there. I ran. I didn't stop. Not until I was blocks away, and when I looked back, nothing. For weeks, I avoided storms. I stayed inside, prayed for clear skies. But they always come back. Every storm, every heavy rain, I can feel it watching, waiting. And sometimes, when I hear the thunder, I swear I hear that whisper again. "Remember. You called me. I've tried to forget. I've tried to ignore it. But the storms always remember, and so does it." Even now, as I type this, the clouds are gathering, the wind is picking up, and I know it's coming back. Because I love storms, and I called it. I was 17 when this happened, and even though years have passed, I still remember every drop of rain that fell that night. It was one of those evenings where the weather felt like it was working against you, almost warning you to stay inside. The rain wasn't a soft drizzle, it was relentless, coming down in sheets, bouncing off the asphalt, and making visibility nearly impossible. My shift at the small diner where I worked part-time had just ended, and I had about a 20-minute drive back home. Normally, it wouldn't have been a big deal, but that night the storm had made the roads practically deserted. I stepped out into the downpour and immediately regretted not bringing my heavier jacket. The rain soaked through me in seconds as I dashed to my old Honda Civic. The streets were so dark and quiet that I actually hesitated before starting the engine. There was something unnatural about how empty everything felt. No cars, no pedestrians. Just the pounding of rain and the occasional rumble of thunder overhead. As I pulled out of the parking lot, I noticed a car sitting a few blocks down the road. Its headlights were off, but I could see the silhouette against a flickering street lamp. I didn't think much of it at first. Maybe someone had broken down, or maybe they were just waiting for someone. But after driving about half a mile, I glanced in my rearview mirror and saw headlights flare to life. The car began following me. At first, I convinced myself it was nothing. It was late, the weather was awful, and maybe this driver just happened to be going in the same direction. But as the minutes ticked by, and turn after turn, the car was still there. I slowed down. They slowed down. I sped up. They sped up. My stomach dropped. The rain was coming down so hard that it created a hazy curtain over my windshield, and the wipers could barely keep up. I turned down a smaller side street, one that I normally didn't take home. I wanted to test them, to see if they were really following me. Sure enough, their headlights appeared behind me again, creeping closer, then falling back, like they were playing with me. My heart was pounding so loudly it drowned out the thunder. I tried to tell myself it could just be a coincidence, but in the pit of my stomach, I knew. I wasn't just being paranoid, this was deliberate. Someone was following me through the rain. I made a split-second decision and pulled into a gas station, the only one open that late. Its fluorescent lights were harsh and buzzing against the stormy black sky. I parked right in front of the entrance, hoping the cameras and the presence of the overnight clerk inside would be enough to make whoever was following me back off. For a moment, I didn't see them. But then, a black sedan rolled slowly into the lot. It didn't pull up to a pump. It didn't even idle near the store. Instead, it parked across the lot in the shadows, its engine still running. I couldn't make out the driver's face through the rain-streaked glass, but I could feel their eyes on me. I panicked and ran inside, dripping water across the tile floor. The cashier, a middle-aged guy who looked half asleep, glanced up at me. I tried to act casual, but my shaking hands gave me away. I bought a pack of gum just to have an excuse to be there. When I came back out, the black sedan was gone. For a moment, relief washed over me. Maybe I had overreacted. Maybe they weren't following me after all. I started my car again and pulled back onto the road. The rain hadn't let up. In fact, it seemed to be getting worse. And then I saw it. Those same headlights, appearing in my rearview mirror like twin white eyes, they were back. This time, they didn't bother with subtlety. The car accelerated and kept a tight distance behind me. My Civic shook from the force of the rain and the pressure of my foot on the gas. My neighborhood was still a few miles away, but I couldn't just lead this person directly to my house. My parents were asleep, and I didn't want to bring danger to our front door. Thinking quickly, I swerved down another back road that wound past a stretch of old factories. The rain made it even creepier, the empty buildings looming like giants through the storm. The sedan stayed right behind me. Suddenly, its high beams flipped on, blinding me in the rear-view mirror. I screamed out loud, slamming my horn in frustration. I could barely see the road in front of me anymore, just streaks of water and glare. My tires skidded dangerously on the slick asphalt. The car behind me surged closer, almost kissing my bumper, then backed off, then surged again. It was a game. They were toying with me. I realized I couldn't outrun them forever. My only chance was to get to a place with people. The storm made everything harder. Every road was empty. Every business closed. I remembered there was a 24-hour police station about 10 minutes away if I took the right turns. 10 minutes. That was all I needed. I floored it. My Civic roared louder than it ever had before, but the black sedan matched every move. The rain didn't let up. My knuckles were white on the steering wheel. Every second stretched into an eternity. Finally, the glowing red and blue lights of the police station came into view. I didn't even think. I swerved hard into the lot, nearly losing control as I splashed through puddles. I parked crookedly across two spots and jumped out, sprinting into the building. When I looked back through the glass doors, the black sedan slowed as it passed by. It didn't pull in. It didn't stop. It just crawled by, the driver's face hidden in shadow, and then disappeared into the rain. The officer at the front desk was startled by how frantic I was, but after I explained, they checked the security footage from the lot. Sure enough, the cameras caught the car lingering. They told me it was probably someone with bad intentions, maybe a drunk, maybe worse. But they never found the car, and I never learned who was driving it. For weeks after, I was terrified to drive alone at night, especially when it was raining. I'd catch myself checking the rearview mirror every few seconds, expecting those headlights to appear again. They never did. But to this day, every time it rains at night, I still feel that same gnawing fear in my stomach. Because somewhere out there, whoever was behind that wheel is still driving those same roads. And they never got caught.